Ever pondered how different the world would be if Rome never existed? It's a question that might lead us into the labyrinth of alternate history, but before we venture down that path, let's first appreciate the grandeur and significance of the Eternal City. Rome, the city of seven hills, is not just a metropolis of brick and marble, but a towering testament to human achievement. Born more than 2.5 millennia ago, Rome's influence on the world is so profound it's almost incalculable. From its humble beginnings as a small settlement on the banks of the Tiber River, Rome grew into a kingdom, then a republic, and finally an empire, a colossal entity that spanned 3 continents at its peak. Its reach extended from the sun-baked sands of Egypt to the misty moors of Scotland, from the Iberian Peninsula to the exotic lands of the Middle East. Yet, Rome's influence wasn't merely geographic. It was the cradle of Western civilization, the birthplace of law, politics, architecture, and warfare as we understand them today. The Roman Republic gifted us the concept of res publica, the public affair, the seed from which democracy sprouted. The Roman Empire, meanwhile, showcased the power and potential of organized governance and infrastructural development. Roman architecture, with its iconic arches, aqueducts, and amphitheaters, revolutionized the way we build and perceive space. Roman law, codified in the 12 tables, laid the groundwork for modern legal systems. Even our calendar, the Gregorian calendar, is a Roman invention, refined and recalibrated by Pope Gregory XIII. Rome also served as the epicenter for the spread of Christianity, a religion that would shape the course of history and the fabric of societies for centuries to come. Without Rome, the story of Jesus Christ might have remained a local tale, confined to the narrow boundaries of ancient Palestine. So, with a city of such monumental importance, it's fascinating and a little unnerving to imagine a world without it. But that's exactly what we're going to do. Now brace yourself for a journey into an alternate timeline where Rome never existed. Imagine a world without the Roman Republic, can you? Let's dive into the depths of what might have been, or more accurately, what might not have been. The Roman Republic, a powerhouse of political innovation, was a crucible where ideas such as checks and balances and separation of powers were forged. Without it, the world might never have known these concepts. The American Constitution, a masterpiece of political thought, draws heavily from the Roman Republic. Would the Founding Fathers have been able to create such a robust system of governance without the Roman template? Now let's shift gears and ponder over the absence of Roman law. The Romans were meticulous lawgivers, and their legal system still echoes through our courts today. Their laws, dealing with contracts, property rights, and torts, were so comprehensive that they laid the groundwork for many modern legal systems. Without Roman law, would we have a consistent, coherent structure to our legal systems? The Roman Republic also pioneered the codification of laws into written statutes, a practice that ensures fairness and transparency in our legal proceedings. Imagine a world where laws are arbitrary, changing with the whims and fancies of rulers. Sounds chaotic, doesn't it? Moreover, the Roman Republic's commitment to public service and civic duty is an ideal that continues to inspire modern societies. Without this Roman legacy, would we have a strong sense of civic responsibility, or would we be more self-centered, less inclined to contribute to the greater good? The ripple effects of the Roman Republic's absence would have been felt far beyond the realm of politics and law. It's fascinating and a bit unnerving to contemplate how different our world might have been without the influence of this ancient civilization. The Roman Republic was indeed a game-changer in world politics. Its absence would have left a void, altering the course of human history in unimaginable ways. So, the next time you vote, serve on a jury, or simply enjoy the security of your property rights, spare a thought for the Roman Republic and the extraordinary legacy it left behind. What about an era without the Roman Empire? Let's dive into this fascinating hypothetical. Imagine a world where the Roman Empire, that colossal powerhouse of military might and technological innovation, simply didn't exist. The absence of Rome would have had profound implications on the evolution of warfare, infrastructure, and governance, shaping a world starkly different from the one we know today. The Roman Empire was renowned for its military prowess. Their legions, disciplined, organized, and relentless, set a standard for armies that would echo through the centuries. The Romans developed advanced strategies, weapons, and fortifications, revolutionizing the art of war. They introduced the gladius, a short, double-edged sword that was easy to handle and deadly in close combat, and the pilum, a long-distance javelin designed to penetrate enemy shields and armor. Without Rome, these innovations in warfare may have been delayed or never come to fruition at all. Moving from the battlefield to the city, Rome was a paragon of infrastructure. They built an extensive network of roads and bridges, aqueducts to transport water, and amphitheaters for public entertainment. These marvels of engineering not only enhanced the quality of life for Romans, but also facilitated the movement of troops and goods, further strengthening the empire. Without these advancements, the pace of technological progress may have been slower, altering the course of human civilization. And then there's governance. Rome gave us the concept of a republic, a system where the people or their elected representatives hold the power. This model was foundational for many modern democracies, including the United States. Without the Roman Empire, the development of democratic systems could have taken a different trajectory. So the absence of the Roman Empire would have left an indelible mark on the world. The innovations in warfare, technology, and governance that Rome introduced were pivotal to shaping the world as we know it. Without the Roman Empire, the face of warfare and technology would have been different, and so too might have been the face of our modern world. Scene script, Latin, the language of Rome, imagine a world without it. In the heart of ancient Rome, Latin was born, a language full of rhythm, beauty, and complexity. It was the language of the scholars, the poets, the politicians, and the philosophers. It was the language that gave us words like aqua for water, terra for earth, luna for moon, and stella for star. Now let's indulge in a little bit of time travel, back to a world where Rome wasn't built, and Latin was never spoken. The first thing that strikes you is the silence, the absence of the familiar. You see, Latin is not just a language that was spoken thousands of years ago, it has seeped into the very fabric of our modern tongues. From English to Spanish, Italian to Portuguese, French to Romanian, Latin is the linguistic ancestor, the progenitor of the so-called Romance languages. Without Latin, these languages, as we know them today, wouldn't exist. The linguistic landscape of the world would be vastly different, with no trace of the romance, the rhythm, and the richness of the Latin-infused tongues. Beyond language, Latin has also shaped our literature, our science, and our understanding of the world. Think of the scientific names in biology, the legal terms in law, the philosophical concepts in humanities. All these fields would be radically different if Latin had not existed. The absence of Latin would have created a ripple effect, changing the course of history, knowledge, and culture. Consider the great works of literature, the epic narratives, the powerful poems, the profound plays, all born from the womb of Latin. Virgil, Ovid, Cicero, their words would have been lost, their thoughts unheard, their genius unappreciated. In the realm of science, Latin has served as a universal language, connecting minds across borders, across time. Without Latin, this connection, this shared understanding, this global conversation would have been hindered, perhaps even halted. Language, an integral part of our culture and identity, would have been vastly different without Latin. So, the next time you utter a word, read a book, or marvel at a scientific concept, spare a thought for Latin, the language that wasn't just spoken but lived and continues to live in every word we speak, every thought we express, and every idea we conceive. A world without Rome is indeed a world unrecognizable. Let's take a moment to reflect on the journey we've explored together. We've dived into an alternate universe where Rome, in all its grandeur, was never built. The absence of the Roman Republic, the Roman Empire, the Latin language, and everything else that sprang from this ancient civilization would have fundamentally altered the course of history as we know it. Without the Roman Republic, the concept of democracy as we understand it today might be drastically different or perhaps non-existent. The Republic's influence on modern governance structures and systems is undeniable. Its absence would have reshaped politics, possibly leading to a world dominated by monarchies or dictatorships. In a world without the Roman Empire, warfare might look dramatically different. The Romans were master strategists and engineers. They developed advanced military technologies and tactics, many of which are still in use today. Without them, warfare may have evolved in a completely different direction. The absence of Rome could have also meant a world without aqueducts, concrete, and highways. The Romans were pioneers in technology and infrastructure. Their innovative spirit led to breakthroughs that still impact our daily lives. Imagine a world without their influence. It's hard to picture, isn't it? Language and culture, too, would have been profoundly affected. Latin, the language of Rome, influenced numerous modern languages, including English, French, and Spanish. Without it, our communication might be vastly different. Furthermore, Roman culture, with its art, literature, and philosophy, profoundly shaped Western civilization. Our world owes much to Rome, and imagining it without Rome is like imagining a sky without stars. The absence of this great civilization would have left a gaping hole in our history, our culture, and our collective identity. It's a fascinating thought experiment, isn't it? We can only guess what might have happened, but one thing is clear. Rome, in all its glory and influence, played a pivotal role in shaping the world we live in today. A world without Rome is indeed a world unrecognizable,